Well, welcome to this Monday presser. It's been an exciting, busy week for us, short week. A lot going on. We were able to win 2 basketball games. The game against South Alabama on Friday night was impressive. I think for the national audience, Jordan put on a show, showed what kind of player he is, and we did some really good things. And really proud of our team. To be the first undefeated team in the Cajun Dome era is pretty impressive. And it's a goal that they wanted and that they pushed for all year. I wanted to thank our fans, season ticket holders, rebounders, administration, cheerleaders, pep band, Raging Jazz, everyone that helped make this year a special year. And the people where they were remembered, I saw that team play. And as a friend of mine told me Saturday, you just set a record that'll never be broken. It can only be tied. And I thought that was well said. So kudos to our guys. They played hard and made that happen. Now we turn the page and get ready for the biggest week of the season, the conference tournament. And we prepared ourselves all year to be in this situation. When we left the Base Center last March and finished in the championship game, we said we're going to come back and do it again. The players said that in the locker room. And so we've got to make that happen this weekend over in Pensacola. Should be an exciting tournament. A lot of good teams. We'll know who we play in a couple of days. You guys have the bracket. And if there are any questions, I'll take those now.
Coach, you brought up last year, you were the 8th seed going into the tournament last year. You had to claw your way to the championship one. A little bit easier of a road this time around, but the margin of error is still really slim. Do you think your team plays better in that mindset?
Not sure. Some coaches think they do. Last year's team had a rough February, and we lost a lot of games that we normally win, and it put us in that 8th hole, but we knew we could beat anybody we played, and we almost did. So this group is a little bit different, and the razor-thin margin of error is important, and it doesn't matter whatever the game, but in a tournament, it's even more amplified.
Jordan is again named SBC Player of the Week. Talk about his importance and how vital he'll be for you guys to be successful in the tournament coming up.
Well, he's the best inside player in our league. I think he's the best player in our league. I think it's a no-brainer to me. He plays 5 less minutes than Kinsey and those other players that are up for the award. But he's been fantastic. We need him to keep moving forward. And he had great games last year. He had a couple of really good games at Pensacola, and we need him to continue to play at the level he's playing at. I mean, 13 or 15 the other day, right hand, left hand, jump hook off the glass, jumper, turnaround, off the dribble. I mean, he showed what he can, offensive rebounding. He showed what he can do, and he's excited about trying to go be MVP of this tournament.
What's the difference in Jordan Brown last year, this time, and this year, this time?
Maturity. He has grown so much, Dan, and you can ask any of our coaches or administrative people. He has just really opened up and matured, and he's very comfortable, I think, here. And that was a big plus for him, was to feel wanted, feel needed, and then, to produce. And I think he's had an outstanding season. He's on the verge of scoring 1,000 points in 2 years, which is hard to do.
Mike Thomas, Jalen Dalcourt had great games the other night. Just how important is it for pieces around Jordan to be able to play well also, and you guys to not just necessarily rely on all of his offense to try to get you guys a win?
We need everyone, and we need the outside game as well as the inside game. We still led the league in field goal percentage thanks to Jordan, and I think we were first or second in the final tally in three-point percentage. I think we may have still finished first, but we weren't shooting 40%. We were ranked as high as number 2 nationally in three-point shooting a couple of weeks ago. And at the game Friday night, South hit maybe 4 in the first half, and we had 0. And in the second half, they don't make any, and we make two, and that was Mike and Jalen. Jalen broke the lid off of it, and then Mike made one. So we need those guys to hit three-point shots. Jordan's going to get double and triple teamed every night to some degree, unless they're only playing one-on-one, and we saw what happened with that Friday.
So Friday, you ended up playing Mike a lot in the second half. We talked about it after the game. Was that just a matchup situation, or is that going to depend on here on out in the tournament, like who you're playing and what the matchups are?
To some degree. We felt like as a staff, and we talked about this morning in our staff meeting, but we felt like in the summer that it was an open competition. Mike started the 2 games in Puerto Rico. We came back, and they were neck and neck to the week before we opened against Centenary. Or actually, we scrimmaged LSU. But besides that, it was neck and neck. And we need both of those guys. That was the mindset because they're different. They're very different. And the other night, Mike gets hurt at Coastal in the first game, misses 6 games. Takes him a while to come back. He's had some really good practices. Had a great practice on Tuesday of last week, and then Monday of last week, because Monday was Tuesday, right? And he did a good job, or he did not do a good job against Arkansas State. And so I talked to him about it. He came back and had another good practice, and then was ready to go on Friday. And his speed helps us, and his outside shooting. He's a really good outside shooter, and they didn't want to guard Themis, and they're just packing it in on us. And we've already got Jordan and other people in there, so Themis wasn't able to drive as much, et cetera. And then when we put Mike in, we got the lead, and we just rode him out. He made his free throws. He did a nice job.
Do you have or hold any significance to being able to get that double bye and having a chance to be able to just sit back and wait for your opponent?
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. Going back to your question earlier, instead of going in and having to play 4 games, or some people may have to play 5, and I don't think it's possible. It is possible. UConn won the Big East back in the day. Maybe it was 4 games. I can't remember. It's Madison Square Garden, and they won the national championship. But it's hard to do, and to have extra time off in 3 days in a row is plenty. If you look at last year's games, we played well for 3 of the games, and then we didn't play as well and got outplayed in the championship.
What's the key to even winning 3 in a row? I mean, that's different dynamic-wise than playing, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, win the first one. I mean, a lot of people say in a tournament play that your first game's a tournament championship, and try to get that one under your belt. But it can be a challenge, too, for people to sit and wait, and another team's won a game in that building and played, and we won't even have time to shoot in that building till warm-ups.
So you talked about all year. It seems like you have the depth. Is there any other issues that are concerns? I mean, it seems like you have the depth to do it for what you played with all year.
Yeah, I like the team that we put together. We feel comfortable with them. We think we can play different styles and win. Our defense has gotten better. Thought we were really good at times the other night. We let them score some, but taking away those 3-pointers in the second half was the only way they were going to get back in the game once we went up 8 or 10 points. So proud of our guys for improving, and we're going to still continue to improve. We've been a really good offensive team all year, and our defense is getting better.
So are you a coach that addresses free throw shooting, or you just leave it alone and hope it gets better? Because it's kind of like field goal kicking or something. It's more of a mental thing.
I always say it's more of a yips on a putting green.
Yeah.
But you're right, and what I've done in my career as a head coach, assistants do different things, but as a head coach, I'll go make one minor adjustment or say one little thing, and then they make a couple in a row, and you go, see there? And just so it is all mental. You try to get it in their head, and we shoot good free throws. I mean, Jordan the other night was 2 for 11, unfortunately, but he's been 9 for 11 too. And he's just got to regroup and make those. But, yeah, the guys have been in the gym all weekend working on their free throws.
You mentioned earlier about how the guys said last year that they wanted to be back in the championship game and get there. What are some lessons that you believe that they've carried from that game all the way through the season and now to this point to try to do it again?
Just they want to be there. They want to cut the nets down. That's the whole purpose of the season, is to get the NCAA tournament and win. We wanted to win the regular season. We fall one game short. We needed 6 things to happen Wednesday and Friday, and we got 5 out of 6. It's pretty good odds. But we put ourselves in that position, and but we win at home, go undefeated at home, and now we're headed to the tournament, and that's where we really want to make our money right here. We've got to do a great job this week. We got to play hard and play great defense. In the championship game, we didn't guard as well as we needed to, and their shooters got out and hit some big shots and got the lead, and we couldn't catch them.
So the potential first round, is it about defending the 3 well with ULM and Georgia Southern, or what's different and similar about potential matchups to win?
Well, it's different because Georgia Southern doesn't shoot the 3 like Monroe does. We've been very fortunate in the 2 games we played. Monroe Blackman, who's going to be an all-conference player, maybe scored 5 and 10 points or something. We guarded him well, but he has gone crazy against other people, and so is LaCour and some of their Gallia and some of their other shooters. And that's going to be important. Then Georgia Southern has Sarasoff, who doesn't play. He's an all-conference player. He doesn't play in our game. He gets sick in warm-ups, and we're down 19 at halftime. Now, the other team that we may play, we were up 31 at halftime. So it's a 50-point swing. And but it does boil down to matchups a lot in tournament play, NBA playoffs. It's all about matchups.